Well, the winter weather forecasting is a tricky science, especially when looking out months in advance. So how will this season play out? Here's NBC 24 meteorologist Kimberly Newman with her prediction.
In a typical winter, we see daily highs in the 30s, lows in the teens, and nearly 40 inches of snowfall. Snow and cold often arrive in our area from the north. Remember the winter of 2013-2014? That was the last true sighting of the polar vortex in our area. Low temperature records were set across the United States with significant snow and cold in our area. We'll likely only see that winter weather phenomenon once or twice this season. Otherwise, I'm expecting temperatures near to just below average with daily highs in the 20s and 30s this winter. The coldest weather will occur through the month of January, and I predict we'll see less than half a dozen overnight lows below zero. Under the influence of a weak La Nina this season, NOAA's Climate Prediction Center forecasts a greater chance of above normal precipitation in the Great Lakes region. But where does that snow come from? 3 storm tracks can result in very different snowfall accumulation and snowflake type. Lake effect snow occurs when very cold air moves across the Great Lakes and picks up extra moisture and warmth from the water. That causes heavy snow to form in narrow bands throughout the early half of the season. The source of that warm, moist air quickly shuts off once the lake freezes over. Snow from one type of nor'easter may approach northwest Ohio as a central low-pressure system lifts through the Ohio River Valley. Storms that come from the southwest tend to bring much more moisture, which dumps heavy, wet snow and creates a much more difficult cleanup job for the guy who's left shoveling the driveway. We often see snow in Michigan, while folks in Findlay experience freezing rain or sleet. Finally, an Alberta clipper. This storm tends to occur most frequently from December to January, dropping over the Great Lakes from central Canada. It brings quick accumulations due to the dry, fluffy nature of the snow. Since this type of snow moves around easily, you'll likely find yourself shoveling and re-shoveling the same snow due to blowing and drifting. Alberta clippers love La Nina years. The jet stream dives south across the Great Lakes, driving the path of each clipper straight into our neck of the woods. My conclusion, we'll see temperatures at or just below average in the 20s and 30s this winter. I predict we could see average snowfall totals as well. The amount, roughly 40 inches over the course of the season. Finally, it's a tough thing to predict, but in every single winter I looked at with similar parameters to the one we're about to embark on, the answer was yes. The question, will we have a white Christmas?
Well, it's nice to see we might have a white Christmas, but that video, Kimberly, is not that easy to look at. So one thing that you did say in that story.
I know.
Isn't it tough? Okay, so one thing that you did say in that story is that January will be our coldest month. So will that mean temperatures cold enough for Lake Erie to freeze over?
Lake Erie is the only lake that historically will freeze each and every single winter simply because it's the smallest and the shallowest. So with that happening, we often cut off the source of moisture really rolling in along with lake effect snow. So I expect through the second half of the season, we'll see a lot of those Alberta clippers, which is great news for the kids because that light fluffy snow is great to get out there and play with. Obviously, Ryan, this is all wet.